It's another beautiful beginning of the weekend, Sunday, and we are here on Direct Gaming. I got my man, Resident Gamer Zero, in the building. I go by the name of the New Legal. I just want to say happy Sunday to everybody out there. We're ready to go. Y'all see the title, Lock and Load. It took 5 years, everybody. 5 years, as I predicted it would be. And now everybody has come to their senses. No more fun and games, right? It's no more cool to act dumb out here in these gaming streets. It's no longer cool to try to hate on Xbox. Now everybody is slowly coming to their senses because there's nowhere else to go but to the truth. There's nowhere else to go but to the facts. They have all let you down. And just think, all of this over video games.
The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Zag, I want to say what's up, man. Thanks for coming through. We haven't seen you around in these parks, man, so we're good to have you on the show. Appreciate you. Thank you. Welcome to the Mighty Chat Pack audience down there. Become a member, man. Become family. Make yourself at home. Grab some popcorn. Kick your feet back up. Because we come here to do one thing and one thing only. We have a major responsibility, and that's to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us gaming. So in the meantime, we want to give you a salute. We want to say thanks. How you feeling, Resident Gamer Zero?
Good, man. It's good to be here with you and talk about games. We're eating good over here on Team Green, and I've just been doing nothing but gaming. So good to be here.
Facts. I want to give a double shout out to the legendary Talos Reed, Direct Gaming Zone. Oh, Spark 117's in the building.
What up, what up?
There he is. What's going on, famo?
Chill. How are you? How are
He's
you
probably
guys?
done sparking his blunt.
Doing good, man. How's Canada treating? How's Canada
Canada's
treating?
good, man. Canada's good. They're doing okay. We've done not much popping. How are you guys doing, man?
Doing good on a Sunday, man. We're ready to talk about some gaming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get on some big gaming news, bro.
Hell yeah.
Okay, man. So look, it's good to have y'all here. I'm here to just give my little 2 cents because it feels good. It feels good when you know that you're right. It just feels good when you know that you're right. I told y'all eventually 8 months, like I said before, 8 months before these consoles were coming out in 2020, that the whole damn industry was going to fail you. Whoever's hating on Xbox was going to fail you, and was going to fail you in an epic way. Because all it took to understand was that there was a big shift that was going to happen in the gaming industry. If you have been studying, if you're truly a student of the game, and as you can see, many aren't. The sad part about all of this is many are connected to the industry. Many are so close connected to the industry, it's a damn shame that they didn't even catch this. It's a damn shame that they're so far off. That this is like a blow-up moment for them. And we saw all the excuses, right? Because we understand that the majority, and I mean the majority of the gaming industry, are PlayStation fans. So you have to understand, you have to tell yourself, I get it. And while we're talking about PlayStation fans, I had a little revelation today. I was on Gears of War Reloaded on Twitch for over 6 hours a day. I mean, I was just killing it, man. Everything's recorded. Everything's beautiful. It'll be coming up on YouTube soon. The whole footage of my gameplay. I almost had a 90-day kill session today. I was just having a good day today. And, now that it's crossplay, I've been destroying some donkeys on there, but I ran into a good one. A guy who was a multi-console owner. He wasn't a stranger to Gears, but I guess he just wanted to see how it worked on his PlayStation. And man, me and him just got to running it. And we just kept on running it, kept on running it, kept on running it. We had some good games. And at the end, you know, since I couldn't friend him through by way of Xbox or PlayStation, but he had his Xbox, so he ended up friending me. So at the end of the day, ended off with some good news. It ended off with a lot of fun. And we're gonna keep it that way. The value of Xbox, right, is where we're taking this show to. We're taking this podcast to. Welcome to the X League, ladies and gentlemen. To everybody that's around the world that makes us international, we want to give you a double salute. We want to say thank you. Hey, listen, if you like what we're about, hit the notification bell, subscribe, share, like, and leave some comments below. We are truly honored to be amongst the gaming streets community. Triple shout outs to the Mighty Chat Pack community. Braishi, my man says everyone should use Discord anyway. Discord, you know what, man? I'm old school, man. I need to, I might switch over to Discord one day, but yeah, you know how it is. I'll let you youngsters have Discord, man. But Ray Chi, we told them that this was going to happen, right? We told them that this day was going to happen. And you know, they deep down, they never wanted to see this day happen. They deep down, it's killing them. I mean, you see Ron McCaffrey out here. I don't care what anybody says. Ron McCaffrey is corny as hell, man. He's always been corny. He hasn't fooled the Xbox community. Shout outs to the entire real Xbox community out here. I don't care what anybody thinks about us. I don't care what anybody says about us. I don't care how they feel about us, man. Shout outs to the real Xbox community. We are here to talk about
The guy
this
who bought a
mighty.
PS5 Pro just to play GTA 6. That McCaffrey.
Yeah, that McCaffrey, man. Listen, we are here to embody, to celebrate that mighty adamantium vibranium wall that they cannot seem to get through right now. They're just continually bumping their heads. And while Xbox is slowly taking over the market, while Xbox is just slowly expanding, while Xbox partnerships are just getting stronger and stronger, while Xbox gaming catalog is just growing and growing, while Xbox game services is just growing, there's nothing anybody can do now to stop it. It's almost like the Juggernaut. It's almost like the Hulk when he's at ultimate rage level. You know, you just ain't going to stop it. The money is there. The backing is there. Everything is bought. Everything's secured. And there's going to be even more studios bought. And I believe it's going to come out of the Oriental side of things on the east side of this globe. I believe Microsoft is going to scoop up a couple of Japanese studios. And it wouldn't surprise me if they go one smaller, or I would say two double A's. That may surprise you, or a major third-party publishing company that has always partnered with Microsoft. Never know, but that's my guess. But you just never know. Either way, I always love the way the Japanese made their games and their details of their games, and I like their creativity. Other than that, man, we're gonna get down to this news that I want to speak about. This dead end news. I just want to say, y'all still can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make
Clear.
sure y'all. I just want to make sure y'all still can hear me, because the last time I did this, I lost track of things. But just let me know if y'all can still hear me.
Right here.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go, right? We're going to cook. I didn't want to waste y'all's time because we know we got the Tokyo show next week, but I had to talk about this. And let me give a big shout out to my man Crazy Lou for dropping this down to me, because honestly, there's really not been a lot to talk about. I mean, we've talked about it. We've already prophesied about this coming. So it's old news to us, but we're laughing. We're laughing. But I have to read this because this was a beautiful thing today. Crazy Lou sent me this a couple days ago from the game business, right? Are video game consoles in trouble? Now, what's funny is that in 2025, people still wanted to hold on to the console wars. And I also told Resident Gamer Zero today that we were going to do some pausing throughout the show, and he's going to read out some of the chit chat's comments, and we're going to continue our tradition by repeating what's being texted out there. So he's going to watch y'all from the YouTube section, and he's going to read off some of y'all's comments. So keep doing what you're doing, Chat Pat. You know that's tradition over here. So, are video game consoles in trouble? We look at a data and doubt surrounding the future of dedicated game machines, right? In this edition, you got console troubles, you got the Nintendo Direct reviewed, and you got popularity of remakes and remasters. Now, we know that in 2025, to talk about console wars, when we talk about the console wars, the most popular thing now is just to talk about the console sales. This generation is kind of confused on what a real console war is. And basically what a real console war is nothing that what you see on social media. It's basically the breakdowns of which console can do what and what offers the most abilities and capabilities to their audience, to their customers, right? On top of that, what kind of games they put out, quality of games they put out, and it never really was about the sales. That was a industry thing. But gamers really never cared about the sales. When we were coming up, we didn't care about the sales. We just knew people had consoles, and we played the games that we wanted to play. We created the console wars, not the industry. The industry saw what we were doing and ran with it. But we started the console wars. We understood what value meant, what popularity meant within the culture. And so the companies saw that and they drove with it. But the companies didn't do a bad thing. The marketing was excellent. They were listening to their crowd. They were making commercials based off the culture. The console wars really didn't get toxic until the weak yellow journalism of the gaming media began to exist in the mid-90s and on up. So from the mid-90s on up, we've been plagued with this level of stupidity, this high level of stupidity. And as you see all the great ones die off because they were not reluctant to be so dumb and stupid, right? And make stupid content, they fell off. While what became popular on the social web was being ignorant, dumb, stupid, making dumb articles. You know, to feed that beast of console warring, right? They fed that beast. But now there's a famine going on. There's a severe famine because what we said a long time ago.
Consoles are going to go stronger thanks to Microsoft. Once the Windows gaming OS is ready for everyone, they will start selling Xboxes from 200 to 5,000. Whoa, Richie, that's a lot.
That's a lot. We know, right, that every console brings its own distinct vision. But we also said that we acknowledge Nintendo fans, they buy their games. Nobody's debating that. Nobody's debating that Xbox fans buy their games. Nobody's debating that. But we've always said PlayStation fans do not buy their games. We always knew that their games that they buy the most are third-party games. We always knew that the PlayStation platform is a third-party platform. Deep down in their soul, they knew that was true, but they wanted to make something happen for PlayStation that was just fantasy land. And that was to create the narratives, the myths, and the theories, right? And they created every myth, theory, and narrative known on God's green earth. And the marketing leader was Sony, and they ran with it. They ran with it because they were desperate to keep that perception going. Sony did everything in their willpower to never make sure that the revelation of their fan base not buying games would come true. Microsoft knew that. Nintendo knew that. But Microsoft did something that Sony just couldn't do. And they couldn't spend $70 billion. All it took was Microsoft to go in that duffel bag and pull that $70 million out and buy the very thing that was funding their games, which was Call of Duty. When that happened, when the ABK deal was bought, that was checkmate. So we all know this, right? So here we are today. You don't hear a peep. You don't hear a sound. You don't hear anything anymore. Because the cover's blown. Every PlayStation game that comes out, it flops. Flops or DOAs. They're not playing these games. You see the worldwide list, top 10, there's no PlayStation game nowhere. You see the worldwide game, no top 20. You don't barely see anything of PlayStation. You might see a Spider-Man way at the bottom. If that. But the world does not play PlayStation games. I've been saying that too. The world doesn't play it. The PlayStation fan base has ran out of steam of trying to buy consoles. They've ran out of steam, and that's no pun intended to steam. But something happened. And I remember on my past shows, I said it. Something happened. I remember the great decline. I made a show about the great decline between the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 4. Something happened. There's 60 million people that are no longer on PlayStation. We don't know what happened to them. 60 million. The PlayStation 4 tried. They tried. But you got what, 40-something million still missing? And now you got 70-something million PlayStation 5s. So PlayStation 2 out of 155 million, and you got 70-something million. That's a big gap. That's 80-something million people. Resident Gamer Zero, Spark 117, Mighty Chat Pat. 80 million that are not accounted for now. There's 80 million gone. No longer on PlayStation or don't even use it. This is a fact. While they talk about Xbox low numbers, let's just say last generation Microsoft with Xbox sold 60 million. So if the Xbox only sells 55 million or 50 million, they only lost 10 million. Told you. The situation of success is not going to hurt Microsoft. They don't depend solely on the Xbox console. We know this. So what's happening? Microsoft is utilizing their technology while PlayStation doesn't have technology to utilize. Okay. So because of that, PlayStation is lacking. They're not just lacking, but we're going to take a deep dive into what's really going on with their fan base. Nobody can be fooled by these clowns anymore. These are just clowns. They just talking. They're not really playing videos. They're not doing anything. And we got the proof. This article right here was like a graveyard. It was like a graveyard for them. And this article was just a written tombstone. And it starts out like this. Hello, welcome back. I hope you are having a peaceful week. On today's episode of the Game Business Show, we reunite with Stephen Totillo, the man who guest hosted our very first episode. And this time we discuss retro games, the latest Nintendo DIRREC, and the future of video game consoles, right? Now, I scroll down a little bit, and there's a big title saying video game consoles in crisis with a question mark. The video game consoles face a challenging future due to rising costs and an aging user base, predict leading data firms. So, before I read anything else, Shout outs to all my gray beards out there like J-Mac and them, other Zinc, Jago 6, Hebot, the most powerful gamer in the universe. All these retro playing gaming historians. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about guys that had the Odyssey and not even I had the Odyssey. I started with the Intellivision, but some of these guys had the Odyssey and up. It's incredible that we have these guys still around. Gaming doesn't get
Metroplex in
old.
the building.
Metroplex in the building, right? You got all this great history. Guys coming through the late 70s, mid 70s, all the way up to 2025. You're going to put some respect on our names because we found out that it's us that's keeping this game industry afloat. Like I said a while back, don't get it confused. The video game industry isn't a young kid's industry. It's a grown man thing. However, with the console generation delivering record revenue and with a strong active user base across devices, we were merely witnessing a change in the role of the console within the modern game industry. Question mark, right? This topic followed comments from Capcom president Tsumoto Hariharu. And I'm not making fun of names, so if I didn't get his name correct, forgive me. In an interview with Nikkei, if I got the name wrong, forgive me, like I say. But who expressed concern about the high price of the PlayStation 5 and the impact that it is having on the firm's ability to sell more copies of the recently released Monster Hunter Wilds. So see, these yellow, this is the kind of articles I love, right? Because it's these articles that tell the truth. It's these articles that get down into the mud of things. Not this yellow journalism stuff that you've been plagued with for years and years and years and years and years. A lot of these clowns don't even play video games that great. A lot of they just talk a bunch of mess. They just there to pay some light bills. But this is this good stuff right here. So you're seeing something that you never would hear from these clowns. That the price of the PlayStation 5, right? And notice what's funny about this is that the Xbox price just went back up. So what do you naturally think is going to happen with the PlayStation 5 price? It's going to go right up too. What do you think is going to happen with Nintendo? It's going to go right up too. The Switch 2 if one goes up, the other ones are going to go up. But we're talking about right now the PlayStation 5 being impacted right now by its price. And how over in the Eastern world, the great Monster Hunter Wilds isn't selling. It's struggling. Console ownership is increasingly focused on a more affluent households, data shows. The U.S. analytics from Circana says that households with 100,000 plus income. A lot of these buffoons that you see on Twitter X, they don't make no 100,000. You don't ever see these dudes buying video games like we said. And these are the same clowns out here trying to tell somebody that they're a welfare gamer. Look how that boomerang, look how that truth just exposed you clowns. Ain't none of them making that money. But it's the 100,000 income a year folk. They make up the 43% of the video game hardware sales. And it's a rise from 36% just a few years ago. Now watch this, it gets even better. The audience is also getting older in the US, according to Circana. 18 to 24-year-olds only account for 3% of video game hardware purchases in the year ending in July 2025. What are we talking about? What are we doing here? Most of these little clowns, these little idiotic Star Wars groups and the Muppet Show clowns and all these other clowns on Twitter X, right? They ain't doing nothing for the gaming industry. We told you that. Now here's the truth. Here's the proof. They only make up 3%. And you wonder why the new legal isn't talking to them, though. I'm not wasting my time. You shouldn't either. They are irrelevant. They're there to have discussions with grown men about video games. No, they're not. I'm lying. They're there to just be jokesters. They're there to just be pranksters. They have nothing to do with video gaming. And it shows. And those from the 18 to 24 that do, they're only making up 3%. So what are we talking about? And that is down 10% from the same period ending in July 2022. The average age of console players in 2024 was 27.9 years old. So basically 28 years old is the average. That's up from 24.2 years old in 2018. So the data from Ampry says that when it comes to teens and young adults, this group are still using consoles as much today as they were a few years back. However, there is a modest shift in the share of console players aged between 25 and 44.
Mike Johnson says, never waste your time, legal.
Facts. The 25 and 44-year-olds, something beautiful is happening. Mike Johnson, something beautiful has taken place. Between 25 and 44-year-olds into an older age range, Ampry suggests that this may be due to hardware pricing, with younger gamers playing on parent consoles. They're not even buying their consoles. But watch this. And the increased competition on people's time from things such as video streaming and TikTok. If we look at current performance, consoles are generally significantly more revenue than ever before. So right now, you don't get this truth from the yellow journalisms. Right now, there are more consoles out in the world than ever before. Don't be surprised if you got those Xbox numbers mistaken again like you did last generation from listening to these yellow journalisms. Don't be surprised because there's more revenue out in the world right now. And listen, let's don't be for certain, right? But let's give props to this Nintendo Switch because it's monstrous this generation, right? Well, for last generation to mid-cycle, right? It's been a monster console. There's just tons and tons of consoles out there. In 2022, console hardware revenue surpassed $6.6 billion in the United States, the highest it's ever been. What are we out here doing? Mike Johnson, Monty Chat Pack, Gamer, Resident Gamer Zero, Spark 117. What are we doing? I said in 2022, you didn't hear this from none of the gamer journalists, none of the influencers, none of that. And like Game Serials would say, damn, legal, that was during COVID. And during COVID, at the tail end of it, hardware has surpassed 6.6 billion in the US, and that was the highest it's ever been. It reached 6.5 billion the year after. That number just dropped to 4.9 billion in 2024, so you see. But that is still a higher revenue figure than almost every year during the previous console generation. What are we talking about? There's been somebody out here lying, telling you that this generation has done worse than last generation. That's the yellow journalism. They want you to make it seem like that. People are gaming more than they ever have been. But that is still a higher revenue figure, right? Almost every year during the previous console generations, in terms of revenue, this is the biggest console generation of all time. I'm going to say this again. Somebody's been lying out here, people. You wonder why the new legal don't pay no attention to these clowns. You wonder why I just stay laughing. Come on, y'all. I done told y'all to wake up, man. Stop playing around with these goofies, man. I've never told y'all who to listen to, who to like. I don't care about none of that. But over here on Di-RRec Gaming, we have a responsibility to do. And that's to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help us gaming. That's what we come out to do. We don't come out here to tickle your elmo. We don't come out here to be goofy. We don't come out here to be funny with you guys. We're talking about something that we passionate about. This is the biggest console generation of all time. Somebody's out here lying. Rez, Spartan, Chat Pack, somebody's lying out here. I thought these consoles wasn't selling. Somebody's lying out here. This generation is bigger than this. Check this out. The Wii, the 360, and the PlayStation 3 era. What are we talking about, man? It says no. Console sales here include PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, handheld only devices are discounted. Just for those who wanted to know. That revenue result is driven by a higher cost of hardware because when we start looking at the unit sales, things are more complicated. The PlayStation 5 is currently tracking slightly behind the PlayStation 4. Let me say that again. Because when we start looking at unit sales, things are more complicated. The PlayStation 5 is still slacking behind the PlayStation 4. While the Xbox Series S and X significantly lag the Xbox One. Last year in the US, 12 million console units were sold, the lowest figure in 8 years. Meanwhile, Ampere estimate that by the end of the 2025, the number of active devices on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series generation will be 14 million behind that of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, achieved during the same point in their life cycle. Check this out, though. The company estimates that gap will widen to 20 million by the end of 2026. So something is happening. I'm going to tell y'all what's happening. Something that these clowns didn't want you to know. Their worst fear has happened. See, they made fun of people saying that, hey, this is an Xbox, a handheld's an Xbox, your device is an Xbox, because Microsoft understands business. You're not a $4 trillion company and don't understand business. You don't understand tech. You don't understand software. They know what they do. They do what they do very well. What Sony's doing right now is just hanging on. Go look at them. They're just hanging on. They're doing whatever they have to do to just hang on. That's all they're doing. And while PlayStation depends on that Sony console to sell, Xbox doesn't. And you're seeing, while the consoles are dropping, but gaming is up because people are gaming on what they want to game on. They're no longer just sitting in their living rooms playing on their Xbox or on their PlayStation or Nintendo. They're not just stationed in one place like it used to be. The world is moving. The gaming is mobile. That's not to say that people are not playing on their TVs. It's not what we're saying. Not saying that people aren't playing on their PCs, on their desktop. It's not what I'm saying. But there's a shift. And I'm going to tell you what the shift of the culture is. This new generation does not care about what you care about. That's what it is in a nutshell. They don't know who Jim Ryan is. They don't know who Phil Spencer is. They don't know who Aaron Greenberg is, Sarah Bond is. They don't know who Yoshida is.
They don't care about console sales.
They don't care about console sales. There you go. All they care about is getting with their friends and playing video games. That's all they care about. Because I have a 14-year-old son, and I've been watching him play video games for a while. He doesn't even care when Xbox Direct or PlayStation State of Play come. He don't know nothing about that, don't care about that. He don't watch them shows. He don't watch those shows. He care less. Because the majority of his friends are on 2K, Madden, Fortnite. They do the Roblox thing. They come back off on that 2K again. College football. That's what they're doing. The situation does vary by platform, of course. PlayStation is trending well this generation and currently has 124 million active users across both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. That's a rise of 6 million over a year before. However, the potentially smaller active install base for consoles overall, plus the high cost of hardware, subscription, and software, certainly poses a challenge to third-party publishers looking to grow brands such as Monster Hunter. But nevertheless, it would be premature to predict a decline for the sector. The Nintendo Switch 2 just delivered this biggest launch for a dedicated gaming service, but that's now. Let's give it 5 years from now. PlayStation just raised its financial outlook on a back of strong consumer engagement, while Xbox is preparing to launch 2 new handhelds, although they're more closely associated with PC handhelds. Furthermore, the launch of Grand Theft Auto 6 next year will deliver a spike in console users and sales. But there remains some long-term pressures on the sector, just like I said. You can forget forget right here. Let's talk about 5 years to 10 years. We're going to see who's who. Told you. 5 years to 10 years, you're going to see who's who soon. The cost of consoles are continuing to rise during a time when families are growing concerned about food prices and tariffs. That's the problem. Let's get to it. Consoles are not the entry-level gaming devices anymore. Uh-oh. We told those PC master rate lanes that consoles are coming. The quickness of how a console boots up and all you got to do is start playing is upon them. Look at how these PCs can't run these games. They're having problems running these games. Even your 5090 ain't living up to what it's supposed to. The 4090 never did. Of course, you're not going to get a PC master race lane to admit that. But we've been seeing it. They make massive videos about this shit. No one's lying about this stuff. Consoles are not entry level no more. With tablets and smartphones becoming the typical starter device for younger games, this poses a challenge for console makers on how to upgrade customers from those devices to dedicated game machines. It's another problem. How to get those PlayStation 4 fans over the PlayStation 5. How to get those Xbox One fans over the Xbox Series S. I'm going to guarantee you that Xbox won't have that problem next generation. Because Xbox is going to bring so much value. Game Pass alone brings so much value. But on top of all those storefronts, you don't even get that on PC like that. What Xbox is going to be able to do with Quick Resume, with AI, with DXR, with machine learning is going to be remarkable on top of Unreal Engine 5 and its upgrade. We may even see it may not even be 5. When the new Xbox come out, we might be the first ones to get a hold of Unreal Engine 6. And that's no joke. I'm not here to play games with you. With the rising cost of gaming development, we're witnessing a drop in exclusives and an increased multi-platform focus from publishers. So now you understand why exclusives are dying off. Phil Spencer wasn't lying, huh? All y'all that made fun of Phil Spencer, kiss his Converse. He told you, you got 2 options. 2 options. You're going to rise those prices up, or we bring them prices down through services. You have 2 options because the price of developing video games are up. That's what's affecting exclusives. And an increased multi-platform focus for publishers. Even Xbox and PlayStation are releasing games on other devices, including PC. This potentially weakens the appeal of these machines. Really? Says who? Says who? Because the last time I checked, there's one thing that's beautiful about consoles. Those capabilities are outstanding. In the past, I've reported on video game analysts predicted the death of PCs, the death of consoles, and the death of handhelds. None of that came to pass, of course. You're not really a student of the game. Who in their right mind would say PCs would die and consoles would die and handhelds would die? Who would say something that stupid? However, the market has broadened. Gamers have shifted, and there is an increased evidence that the audience for video game consoles and the role of these devices play in a wider ecosystem is changing. We don't even want to talk about the next topic. The next topic is funny. Nintendo Direct delivered their cult favorites but lacked blockbusters. We already knew that. Rez, you the Nintendo guy. What was the one thing I said was going to hurt this Switch too? Those games. Where's those Mario Brothers games at, Rez? Talk to me.
Well,
Where they at, Rez?
they had a Mario announcement. I don't know if you saw, but during the Direct, they did announce Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 remastered for
Oh,
Switch 2. Yeah,
remasters.
remakes.
Okay.
Yep.
Where's those Super Mario Brother games at, Rez?
We're not going to see an Odyssey for a while because that team made Donkey Kong. So that's going to be empty. Zelda's going to be empty for at least 2 or 3 more years. They don't have either of those big hitters. I'm not sure. I think there is going to be a new Kirby game, but Kirby's never been that big. So the only thing they have going right now for them is Metroid Prime 4, which is coming out later this year. But that's a Switch 1 game, though, technically, because it was developed and announced for the Switch back in like 2017. So it doesn't really, I don't really count it as a Switch 2 game. So really, like, unless they
is that Metroid Prime game going to be $90?
No, it's probably gonna be 80. I'm gonna tell you. Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, it's gonna be $90. Calling it right now.
I'm with Talos Re on that. Good luck, Nintendo fans. All them kids, they ain't buying that game. Talos Re said everything will turn into an app. Facts. Talos Re said PlayStation will die too. Hey, listen. The PlayStation has already died. The PlayStation that they used to know no longer exists.
You know what it is?
Oh, go ahead, Rex.
It's not really about the exclusives anymore. It's mainly because they like to play on PlayStation for some reason or another. Even though I think they could admit that Xbox has superior engineers, superior hardware, superior design of the console, they still, because of their nostalgia mixed with like their comfort, because they've been playing on the platform for years and they've got this big library and they don't want to switch, or they just want to basically play the denial game and really they know that Xbox is better. They just want to say that PlayStation's better because it makes them feel better about themselves. But no, see, what's going to happen is the not so hardcore fans, once they see more and more what Sony's strategy is going forward with their first party, like if they continue doing just the one game a year, like with Ghost of Yotei this year, people are really going to start to get turned off by them and start playing elsewhere, or just not play at all. Just, go, maybe go to handheld or mobile gaming. But I think it'll turn off a lot of people who are not so hardcore, who have multiple systems. They'll probably play it a lot less. They'll probably go and play Nintendo, or they'll play Xbox. So it's definitely going to hit them harder as the years go on, just because they've just started right now with this, with having one first party. So if they continue this for another 3 or 4 years until the PS6 comes out, people are, or at least I would say a good chunk of people would eventually, or pretty soon, stop playing on it, just because there's nothing to do. Like we saw it right with Crazy Lou. He said his PS5 typically collects dust. He doesn't play it that much. I've heard other people in the community and through some YouTubers say that they don't play their PlayStation that much because there's nothing there for them to play. I mean, they usually play their third party on Xbox, or they'll play it on PC if they have a PC. So there's like real no point. Like that's why they bought the PlayStation, supposedly was for the exclusives, right? The first party, because that's what they always tout, right? Well, we're not seeing that. And people are playing less and less of those games. They're playing the popular games, right? They're playing sports games. They're playing anything else but first party games, it seems like. So there's no excitement there. And when there's no excitement, people get bored, or they just lose interest, or they just don't play at all.
But I got something
So
for you. I got something
yeah,
for you, though, Rez, to drop your mind. As I go into the refrigerator and give me some of this simply pink lemonade, man. Simply pink lemonade, man. I'm telling you, bro, it's so good, man. But what do you think about if these game prices are going up? And here's the funny part about it. To this generation of gamers, right? I'm speaking to this generation of gamers.
they're gonna price people
You
out.
watch this. You think that $80, $90 is high. That's see, I'm over here laughing. Mike Johnson knows where I'm going with this. All my gray beard gamers out there, they know where I'm going with this. Rez, I'm gonna throw you a loop. They think that's high, right? But back in the day, low 90s, mid 80s, what did they think video games cost back then? One video game cost $89.99, $80. During the early 90s, they were $80, $89.99. One game. One game. See, this is why you have to appreciate great leadership in your country. This is when you gotta respect great economics, because that's important. If anything that you're learning now, to my new generation of gamers, you're learning that all this affects your pocketbook. You don't want negative laws in your country that's going to affect your pocketbook. You want solid laws in your country that makes great deals for you. When our games were $49.99, $59.99, even $69.99, look at our economics. Look at our country back then. Look during those times. Look at those times. We prospered. There was plenty of jobs. We had some bad moments, but we were able to turn it back around. The world's trading systems were good. If the world ain't perfect, you're gonna have some proxy wars. There's gonna be governmental disputes. But that was a result of great policies throughout the presidents that came. It's a great administration that makes great policies, and that allows
Pat
things
says
like that.
tariffs made everything more expensive.
There you
Facts.
go, Party Pat. There you go. And we said this on DIRREC Gaming. Did we not? Spark 117. Did we not? Resident Gamer Zero. We said
Yep.
this is a direct. The yellow journalisms didn't want to tell you the truth. They just wanted to come out here and laugh, make fun of things not selling, just trying to keep their lights on. But we told everybody, these tariffs are going to mess this stuff up. Do not expect these gaming consoles and video games to stay like they are. And you remember, I told you, I said, man, these games are going to go up to about $80. $79.99 is what I said. But damn, when Nintendo came out with that $89.99, I was like, wow. It's not that I've never seen it before, but I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, our pockets are hurting on top of that. But we've always said
first it'd be Nintendo, because they've always thought of themselves as a premium product.
That's right.
So they charge more.
And here on DIRREC Gaming, we've always talked about investing. Don't take gaming lightly. Put some respect on it because it can get out of your hand. It can get out of hand. We was always talking about invest. Just like right now, right? You have to, the minute I find out when the next Xbox come out, either I have the money on top or I start saving some. If I say that means I know I can get it, so I'll start throwing some money back now. You have to do that. People were talking about, these consoles cost too much, but I'm from an era where we cut yards. My son is 14. He's allergic to grass. Allergies, man. I mean, all kinds of stuff, pollen and stuff gets to him. But when I was his age, man, if I wanted some pocket money, I started that lawnmower, went down my neighborhood, I cut yards. Guess what? I got video games. Guess what? I was able to put in for a console. I was able to get what I wanted. All I needed was a little, what is it? A gallon of gas, gas container. And I was good, a little 5-gallon one. And I was good for a while. Cut me some yards and I was good. Today, kids are just sitting in the house. They're not doing anything outside. They're sitting in the house, they're playing on their video games, and they're relying on their parents to buy them video games. I just read it out to you. The youth are not buying these video games. If from 18 to 24, that's getting out of high school. That's high school, 12th grade to college. They don't have time. And I said that. I said there's a generational gap somewhere. It's either that,
Mighty
school.
King says, I just bought Sonic Racing Crossworlds Deluxe Edition for Xbox Series X for $95. I also paid $129 for Borderlands 4 Super Deluxe Edition. Damn, dude.
My man.
Woohoo!
Speak to him. That's right, Mike Johnson. We had to suck it up because Mike Johnson, we dared to ask our parents to buy it. That was an ass whooping. If my mama and my dad even heard my thoughts, right? My thoughts, man, I'm going to ask my parents. And you were thinking that you got an ass whooping. I heard you. That didn't happen. We got our games on our birthdays or on Christmas, that was it. And that's if you was blessed. You had 2 games in 1 year. That you was doing something. You could talk like you was a big shot. 2 games in 1 year. But man, I'm telling you, my man put all that money down on those games of deluxe edition. That's what I'm talking about. Resident Gamer Zero. It's people like him that are going to be able to talk the next generation. See, I'm letting y'all know right now, a lot of these clowns, you're not going to see them next generation. And that's going to be good. That's going to be a good thing. How do I know? Because I've seen it before.
They're going to be quiet because there's going to be
They're going to be quiet because they're not going to be a part of it. The data already shows they're not even going to be a part of it. You're going to see Mike Johnson and them. You're going to see my man that Resident Gamer just spoke about. You're going to see them because the gaming industry goes to the old heads. And when we say old heads, we talking about, they said 25 to 44 and up. The age groups are different. You see people, there's nothing wrong with being older and playing video games. You made fun of them. You made fun of you an old man playing. Bro, this them that's keeping the industry going up, dummy. You didn't know that. You thought this was a youngsters industry? Hell no. It never has been. We've always relied on the older people to buy these video games. You the dummy. I've been telling y'all they don't buy games. I told y'all this. Y'all will see it on my Twitter X all the time. They don't buy video games. Y'all are talking to people who don't buy video games. Stop talking to them. Stop listening to them. All they've done is build up YouTube channels to regurgitate gaming yellow journalism news. That's it. That's all you get from them. They can't speak gaming knowledge. They don't know what the hell they talking about. They don't play these video games. They don't run. I got on my Twitch. I'm going to put my gaming play of Gears of War Reload because I do Gears of War. You're going to see it. I don't have to talk how good I am at that game. I ran with randoms all day today for over 6 hours. You're going to see how I get down with randoms. I don't know these people.
Spidey King, we're about to talk about that in a minute. He's talking about if the Ally X is $7.99 to $8.99, it's day one for
That's
him.
right.
We're going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about that. Yes, sir. That was our secret. That was our last topic. We're going to talk about that because we know people are concerned about that. But guess what? My man Spotty X, that's my man. Manny names, that's my man's in him. Let me tell you something about him. He's DIRREC Gaming's own. He's done a lot for DIRREC Gaming. You may not know that, but I do. And I don't really give him his props, but he's a root gamer too. He's an old gray beard too. Military veteran, works for the post office. My man put in years, almost over 25 years, I think. This man get whatever he want to get. Married to a beautiful wife, got a beautiful daughter. Very stable, made a good living for himself and his family. Takes care of his family. I've never seen this man talk about what he can't get for himself. Never. You owe it to people like him as to why your damn gaming industry is still here. You owe it to people like Other Zinc, Hebot, Mike Johnson and him. You see? J-Mac. You owe it to these guys while you making fun of like you said, these old heads, these old gamers. But they're the reason why you can play video games today. Because if we stop buying these video games, the industry dies. You know why? Because we were the ones who saved it. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't even have them anymore. We saved it back in the 80s. And we are what's keeping it alive today. It ain't these youngsters. These youngsters just like to get on social media. But we really do these things. 29 years at USPS. It will be 30 years in December. Look at my man. I've never heard this man say, man, I don't know if I can get this or get that. Never. I've never heard him say it. Now, I've heard him say, I don't want that. That's a ripoff. I heard him talk like that. Because this joker makes over 100-some thousand a year. We're not even talking about his wife that works with him. Together, they doing damn good for each other. They probably over 200,000. They live comfortably. These are facts. You think this man gonna struggle to get that? Look, you got people over here talking about, man, I don't know. That's too much for me. Look, I've even heard Rez. Man, legal. That Xbox Raw LIX is gonna be, if it's $899, damn expensive. And then Rez will say this. I think I'm just gonna get it though. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have an industry. That's the bottom line. These youngsters who talk about the PC master race, let me let you in on a little secret about them. 30 Below, shout out to my man 30 Below. Let me let you in on a little secret, y'all. They don't even build their PCs correct. What you mean, legal? What you mean? I'm about to let you know. A well put together PC is like your Xbox Series X, right? Your motherboard, your CPU, and your GPU are twins. You don't see that today. What you see coming out of these so-called master races, they just get a super duper graphics card, and they brute force everything. That's what they do. They get them a nice monitor for some frame rate abilities. They get them a choice of their CPU, but they don't match it. Their CPU and their GPU are not matched. They don't offset each other. So what they do is they go and get this high-end graphics card so that the graphics card is pulling from the CPU as well as its own duty. It's doing double the work. And that's why they want to get these 5090. That's why the industry makes these 5090s and they do all of this because they know they're not building these PCs in the correct way. They're just brute forcing their performances. And then complain when shit ain't running right. That's the majority of these so-called PC master races. Mike Johnson said, I started with Pong and then Atari day one. My uncle turned me on to it. The Pong was the original. If you don't know Pong, you just don't know Pong, bro. Pong is the original. That's right. It starts with Pong. Pac-Man turned 45 years today. Look at that. Pac-Man turns 45 years. I said today, I'm sorry, this year. That's an old ass mascot. There is no other mascot. When you talk about video games, you can't put another mascot for video games. It's Pac-Man. Pac-Man means video gaming. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, look at it. Atari 26. Hey man, salute. It's you that the reason why the game industry is where it's at. You don't, we understand we told you terrorists, but guess what? When that next Xbox come out, Lord willing, I'ma have one. Because that's just who we are. We know how to get out here. Hey, some of us ain't too proud to go out here and Uber and or DoorDash. Bro, you just don't understand how our generation gets down. We want something, we're gonna get it by any means necessary. This is why Game Pass is such a delight to us. This is why we flipped out on Game Pass. Why we acted the way we acted about Game Pass. We can't believe there's something like Game Pass. We dreamed about having something like Game Pass when we were kids. You got these gamers today faking the fault, talking about Game Pass. We were scratching our head like, what's wrong with these idiots, man? They're talking about a service that's giving you day ones. Day ones. You can't, I mean, this generation's got to be out of their damn blasted rabbit ass minds. You can't, you are, if you talking about a corporate slave, that you're the corporate slave. You really make love to your console at night. If you don't see the value in that. My man 30 Below said just turned 50. I'm telling you, bro, listen. You're the reason why the gaming industry's up, bro. I'm telling you, this shit's funny.
Happy birthday, man.
And happy birthday to you. Now, Rez, now that we done got past that, that's dead. That's dead now. Spawn 117, look at Spawn 117. He ain't even got to say nothing no more. Spawn 117 back on the couch. He's back on the couch, smoking his little spliff, playing Halo probably. Don't even care anymore. There's nothing to talk about. Play video games. Play your damn video games. We're about to go to Tokyo. We're going there. You're going to be on the Tokyo show next week. We're going to see what Microsoft has in store. Microsoft is in the streets. You just saw them in Gamescom. They're everywhere. Microsoft does not care. Microsoft is keeping this thing going because it's going to keep this thing going. This is going to be a beautiful day. Play your video games. Now that we got all of that out of the way, and now that we know the truth, we can move on now. We can move on now. Look at that. Because everybody's going to do what Microsoft is doing. Everybody of it, something drastic is going to have to happen for Nintendo to do it. Something very drastic. But we all knew PlayStation was going to do the same thing. We knew that. That was not a surprise. It's going to happen. So just enjoy your gaming. Don't get caught up into the sales anymore. Don't get caught up into the he say, she say. If you like something and that's what you like, buy it. Because it's about to go down to the consumer war. The console war is over. Nintendo won it, PlayStation second, Xbox third. Then we got the service war that's still in effect, and Xbox is winning there. Second is PlayStation, third is Nintendo. And the reason I'm giving it to Xbox is not by subscription count, because subscription count, it would be PlayStation. But because of what the fan base buys, we're talking about 80% of the Xbox service buyers buy Ultimate. It's undisputed. Game Pass is undisputed. What Game Pass offers, no other service even comes close. And that's across PC. That's across everything. It's the gold tier standard gaming service of the industry. It's already labeled that. It's done. It's done. So now we're moving on to the value of Xbox. Rez, I don't know, man. There's something fishy going on as to why Microsoft has not given an official price. And we're talking about out of the Microsoft store. We're not talking about Best Buy. Best Buy, assuming that, this thing's gonna be $8.99, $5.99. I get it, Best Buy. You done got word of something we don't know. But if it's true, let's just say if it's true.
We called
What's
it
your
though.
thoughts on
We
it,
said
man?
it was going to be in that price range, right? We said it wouldn't be a good idea for them to go at 1,000 or more because, they want to look for something that's, not 800 to 900 or less. They don't want to spend 1,000 on a handheld. I mean, the niche, the hardcore will, but the casual gamers, the gamers who just want a nice Xbox handheld, they're going to want some sort of decent price or enough value in it to warrant the price if they're going to get it. And I think that's a good thing that they went with two different models. What they went with I just call it the Ally S because it's pretty much the S almost, except for it's 720p, but versus 4K. But when you're playing on handheld, what doesn't make that much of a difference. I think me personally. When I experienced the
I was
games,
going to ask
like
you
it
that.
wouldn't make that big of a deal to me to get the S.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody, people like me though, I like power and I want to have the games run the best they possibly can. And the Ally X is the one that offers that with the Ryzen 2 Extreme chip.
Rez,
And
I got
it's
a
just going
question
to
for you.
be, yeah. So $899 is
Re-
not a bad price point because most of
No,
the.
No,
Sorry,
I
go
wanted
ahead.
to really ask you a question while you were saying that. When you talked
Yeah.
about that resolution, I'm Spotty King. I want you and Spotty King because I know Spotty King has the Switch too, right? And I know you kind of wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed about it, but there's millions of people that got it, right? But Spotty King, when you got the Switch too. Is the screen 720 or 1080p? But if it was 720, would you have cared about it? Because the Switch, wasn't the Switch 720, Rez? The
Yeah,
original Switch, wasn't it
in
720?
handheld mode, it was 720. On docked, it was 1080p.
And how much did the Switch sell in the world as a
Uh,
720p? Right, mobile
it's
handheld.
it's at about 155 million right now. It's almost caught up to PlayStation, to
So
Sony
Rez,
PlayStation 2.
so Rez, it's clear to me that nobody gives a shit about that resolution screen for a handheld. Nobody's
No,
mad.
I think only the very small hardcore base would, or the techies, because they want the best resolution, the best frame rates. So they're going to go with the more expensive models, but the average person, no, they're not going to care.
Gotcha.
And that's
So
what
what's
we're
your
going to
take
talk
on it?
about.
Yeah.
Is we did see that there was a couple leaks there. I saw I think it was a YouTuber, a game journalist. I know you don't like him, but and I don't like him either. But Destin Legary first brought it up that somebody had shared a screenshot of a Best Buy, and it had the prices there for the handhelds, the Ally X and the Ally S. The Ally S is going to be $499, or was it $549? And the Ally X is going to be $899, which I think is a great value, because if you think about it, even with the power of the S, you're still getting that AMD Ryzen 2 chip. It's not the Extreme, and you're still going to get a great performance, even if you don't get the more expensive model. And you're not even going to notice a difference, honestly, especially when you're handheld gaming. I think the S as well will probably be able to run the games longer, because it's not using as much power draw as the Ryzen 2 Extreme chip's going to, and some of the other hardware that's more demanding, like the GPU. But I just think it's going to offer people like a good price point too, because like $500 for a super powerful handheld that's similar to a Windows like PC handheld that you could play your Xbox games on. I mean, that's a great proposition for me. And it's not like pricing you out, because that's much more achievable than 1,000 or 1,200 or 14 or 1,500.
Well, look at
Or
the Steam Deck. Look at the Steam Deck, for
yeah,
example, right? Look at Mikhail Digby says Steam Deck all day. Now, you're in more with the handhelds than I am. Stone King X is too. I got my ROG Ally, but that was my first one. I got the LG Cloud too, the Logitech Cloud. So those are my two handhelds. But wasn't Steam Deck only like a 30 frame per second handheld? 720, 30 frames per second handheld? Digby, if I'm wrong, correct me. But where I'm going with that is not to make fun of the handheld. I'm going with that to show that people don't care, right? A handheld isn't something that people are just, I don't see, I don't know. I could be, but I just don't see people going out here spending $1,200, $1,400 for a handheld. I don't see it. I don't think that people are really buying it for that. They just want the mobility and the accessibility of their game when they're on the go.
maybe,
So
yeah.
it was Steam Deck 30 frames per second, 720, wasn't it?
No, it could do 60. This is most
Okay.
of the time depending on that depends on the game. Some games,
Oh,
like
there he
for
is.
example, like Cyberpunk, I think I don't, could be wrong, but I think people were only running it at like 40 to 45 frames. But
Well,
maybe that
Rez,
was
look.
because it wasn't patched yet. But
Right.
um,
Look what
it's
Stone King just said. Read it out. You see it?
oh yep, 720p.
It was
I see
720p
it.
for $650. He says, I give my 512 gigabyte Steam Deck to my nephew next week for his 9th birthday.
And that was nice
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah. Digby says, yeah, for 1,200, you can get a mid PC. Exactly. I mean, if you're going to start spending it like that, that's
Once you
why.
start getting that high, you could, yeah, like I said, like he said, you could just build a PC. So,
Right. No,
and
keep going,
Microsoft,
man. Keep
they
going.
want
Yeah.
to appeal to more consumers, right? They want to introduce their not only the handheld, but their ecosystem to more people. So if they price them out and they make the handhelds too expensive, people are going to be less inclined to buy one or try one, because people want value right now, especially with what you mentioned with the tariffs and the current state of the economy, and like we know wage growth in multiple years, decades even. And people are struggling right now, and they're looking for any kind of deal they can. So I think it was smart about Xbox to give them that kind of Series S option where they can get into their handheld ecosystem at a lower price, and the people that want the $900 system can just buy that, you know, the premium user. But most normal gamers, they're not going to want to spend that kind of money. So $500 is a lot easier to swallow than $900 to $1,000, because you know with that sales tax it's going to be like $940, right? $950. So it's just a better way to get people to play their games, you know, another way, because they want to extend their reachability in every facet of entertainment, right? They've got them on LG TVs now. They're gonna have on, they have it on your phones with the cloud. They have it on consoles, obviously, now handhelds. Pretty much any device, you know, tablets as well. Any device now with the handheld, they have extended their reach out to every possible thing that you could put a video game on. And they need to do that, right, to continue their business model and their strategy of reaching as many people as possible and getting as many Game Pass subscribers as possible. So the two model difference is good, and the performance is, you know, is not that much of a difference between the two. So you're not missing out on too much. And from what I've seen, other people who have reviewed the console, they said that it's a great experience. So not too worried about it. It's just I think what Xbox needs to do is they need to advertise it like Nintendo does with their Switch. Like advertise it a lot, like as like even more than their console. Like they need to advertise this hardware if they really want it to kind of break new ground, because and they need to make sure that they're adding more to their Play Anywhere library, to the point where you're basically going to be able to play almost any Xbox game on it. They need to definitely expand that. Maybe reintroduce that family plan that we've seen them test out, but they haven't deployed it yet. I think that would now be a good opportunity. Like give it some sort of promo code to get them on Game Pass for the first 2-3 months, or maybe a month. You know, if you buy the handheld, you get 1 or 3 months of Ultimate. You know, they need to do little incentives like that to get people even more interested in trying it out. You know, you hand them a freebie once.
I agree with
and
you.
Get them introduced into it, and then they see the beauty of the service, and then that's going to turn them on to Xbox. And I just don't think they're doing that right now. I hope they realize that they have a lot of opportunities here with the handheld to really make it outshine the Switch 2, which if you're not too privy to their exclusives, then there's not much there for Nintendo. So, and they're struggling already. If we saw, they're already struggling with third-party support with some of the newer
Speak
games.
on it.
Like you know, they can't even. There's some modern games that they're not even going to be able to run on it. You know, despite the leap in hardware, Nintendo's just too far behind. So really, their exclusives are going to have to shine. And in this instance, if Xbox can compete, because we know that the Switch 2's battery life is even worse than the Switch 1's battery life. So if Xbox's handheld can compete with the Switch, and not just battery life, but first-party day-and-date games in their Game Pass service, I think they could be a real contender. Like I said, they just need to advertise, and market it. Otherwise, it's just going to be another PC handheld, and it's not really going to bring a lot of people in, at least in my opinion. I hope it does, but I just think that's what's going to happen if they don't do the right things, if they don't make the right moves to get people into the handheld, then it's just going to be another niche device for them, and it's not really going to help Xbox grow. What do you think, Famo?
I agree with you, brother. I agree 100% with you, man. I do. I think everything that you just said was true. I think I think like this, man. Nothing being aggressive is always good, right? Especially when you know you got a product that is capable of doing something good out here in the industry. So you got two handhelds that can change the game. Be aggressive about it. I think this whole mystery of what the handheld is gonna be is drawing a lot of hype. I just it's bad. It's gonna be bad, man. If the prices come out and they're just too high, it's just to me, it's like soon as Microsoft starts trying to do something good, things always happen. I don't know what it is. They fall on the rake. I don't know, man, but I don't know, man. This is why you just never know the future. In the moment, things sound good. Your intentions are great, right? But then things happen. So what they got in these handhelds are nothing cheap. We know this. Handhelds, respectfully, are no longer just the device that's second wave, right? These things are high-end mobile PCs. Let's just get this correct. These are not console video game handheld. This is not the Switch 2 by any means. These are miniature mobile PCs. That's what they are. And the handhelds are next generation. They're next generation. I mean, the what was it? The Xbox, wasn't it the Xbox ROG Ally X? It's more powerful than the PlayStation 5 Pro. You can't even make this up. And it's crazy where handhelds are. You have a lot of people now that rather have a handheld. That's the thing. You actually have people who rather have a handheld than a console. When it used to just be the handheld, used to just be this secondary object that you just got. I'll get it later or whatever. It's a handheld, whatever. But when you think about handhelds have always been prevalent, you got to think about the one and only legendary Game Boy. And what Nintendo could do for Game Boy was just revolutionary, right? Game Boy made people put his respect on his name. Yeah, it was a handheld, but it was prevalent. It was a monster. It did its duty. That was $100 million, 100 million unit seller. It was no joke in its day. The Game Boy, the DS, the 3DS, all those variants, they were no joke in their day. And I've always said this. If Nintendo ever merged their entire library into one, like they doing with the Switch, make it where you can play them on the mobile and on the console. If they ever did that, Nintendo would never ever concede to putting his games anywhere else. They just would not have to. Because think about it, man. They did that. They did that handheld, man. They put the mobility on the map. They did all of that. Nintendo has been a master when it comes to that. And so the respect for what they do has to be respected. It just has to be respected. It just is what it is. Dirty Below said I had an OG Game Boy. Yeah, man, I did too. I had the DS and the 3DS as well. And those things, man, those things were great devices, man. You see what they did to the PSP and the PS Vita, and the Vita was a remarkable handheld. It had an OLED screen, and it had the first technological OLED screen in its day. That was crazy what Sony did. Sony went all out. The screen was beautiful. It was beautiful. The problem was they just didn't see. The problem with Sony is the lack of it's the lack of infrastructure. Like they didn't have like a cloud. They didn't have. So basically what it is like when they had to make, for instance, what's that game? Gravity Rush. Okay. So when they made Gravity Rush, It wasn't like they can make the same game on the handheld and then they can just transfer it over to the console. They couldn't do that like how Xbox does, right? Xbox can put that game on a device and it's the same game. So when you come out the device, go back to the handheld, starts off right where you left off. But that's not how it is for PlayStation. So the developers basically had to do the game over again. So it's basically like the developers doing the game twice. And it's tiresome, right? It's already tiresome for one game. You know what I'm saying? So can you imagine like doing 2 games and then they don't sell? That's horrible. And that's what happened. That's what happened. I mean, it's you tire out your developers. They couldn't make games out in time. So that it flopped out because you couldn't. They had this beautiful handheld with no games. And so the curse of PlayStation 3 is back and it's hitting PlayStation hard. Because what was the curse of the PlayStation 3, right? The PlayStation 3 was a masterful third-party console game. Masterful. You didn't start seeing those exclusives toward the end of his life. That's where The Last of Us came from. The Last of Us came at the very end. The very end, people. We're here to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That PlayStation 3 didn't have all those diehard exclusive games that people were just dying to get their hands on. It was never like that. Neither the 360 was the same way. I'm not giving one over the other, but they were super great third-party consoles, and the 360 was the most diverse console that Xbox ever made across the board. I mean, it had the first-party games on top of the third-party publishing industry games as well. It was almost as if the only things that really separated PlayStation from Xbox was just their exclusives. That was it. Other than that, they basically had the same games. They basically had the same games. It was a galactic time. But you look at things now. These handhelds are out. $7.99. That was what I said, Rez. You know what? I $7.99, man. But I was like, damn. But that tariff, I don't know anymore. 500 and something for the S. Oh, we keep saying the S, man. That's crazy, right? We trying to get away from this, but it seems like Microsoft isn't. But for the secondary one, that 500 something dollars, that's not too bad. I don't know, man. I was looking at $4.99, $5.99. Those are handheld prices. You know what I'm saying? To me, those are, in this day and age, those are fair handheld device prices. This $8.99 stuff is tripping me out, man, because I don't understand how the handheld could be that high and the console be less. That makes no sense to me. So now I'm like, maybe that Xbox, the next Xbox might be $7.99 now, with a possible $8.99 tag on it. We just don't know now because things are not going to get better for a while. You don't know anymore. So you get your money up, get the savings, start to invest because these video game prices aren't going down for a while. Now you're gonna have to ask yourself, do you really love gaming? Is this something that you like to do? Is it something that you really like to enjoy? Yeah, it's basically the S version, exactly. It's that's what this is about now. You're going back into a phase where we already came out of. It's just now you're gonna understand capabilities, and this is what's gonna get it. Because if you're gonna be paying this amount of money, you're gonna want the first thing that's gonna hit your heart is, what does this thing offer me that I should pay this amount of money? Enter the real console war. You are going to know basically what a real console war is all about soon. Because that's what you're going to tell yourself. And if something feels like overpriced, you're not going to buy it. If you can't see the value in it, you're not going to buy it. Rez, they're not going to buy it. Spark 117, they're not going to buy it. It's going to be that easy. Ain't gonna be no more yellow journalism's gonna be able to protect you anymore. They know it. Why you think they're giving away into this now? They're starting to turn. I told you they're gonna turn because they realize what they've been doing is not gonna work going forward anymore. You can't sell a car with two wheels on it to nobody and sell it at the same amount of price as a new car. Not gonna be able to do it. Your system better be packing a punch. I'm telling you, you better be coming with all kinds of stuff. Why do you? And then here's the secret. You ready for this, Rez? You ready for this, Spartan? You ready for this, chat? Here we go. One company says it's going to go over the next generation, right? It's going to leap a generation, right? One company said that boldly. Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? Then the other company said they're going to try to stay at a low cost. What does that tell you? That speaks volumes right there. Sony is already admitting, that they're not going to be able to give you the value for the bang. So what they're going to do is they're going to keep that price low. They're going to attach the PlayStation 6 to the PlayStation 5, and that's the way it's going to be moving forward. They know that they can't give you something with a high price that's going to give you something that's going to be worth your eyes to get. That's what Sony's basically saying. Microsoft is saying it boldly. The next Xbox, we're going to give you something valuable. We're going to give you something that's going to appease your eyes. And we know about what we offer you, you're going to want to buy it. It's a different attitude. They've already said it. Now, remind you, this is the student of a game. This is called being a student of the game. You got to pay attention to what you're hearing. You got to listen to them. Stop listening to yellow journalisms. Stop. You've been doing this too long. You know that's just fun and games. You can't take none of that stuff seriously. But pay attention to what these companies say. Because they can't be out here just lying to you. They got to tell you. These companies will get in trouble for false advertising stuff. They can't do that. They got to let it be known. Microsoft is letting you know already what their expectations of their next product is supposed to be. No gamer on earth, no real gamer on earth is not going to be excited for what Xbox is about to bring. And they were writing Xbox off. Think about it. The yellow journalisms were writing it off. Oh, this is the last Xbox. Microsoft is moving away from consoles. You know why they wrote like that? Because they're really deep down PlayStation fans. And it wouldn't bother them if Xbox went away. It wouldn't bother them. Not one single bit. So how could you get mad at somebody like me who says if PlayStation goes bye-bye, it's not going to hurt me one bit because something else is going to emerge. How do we know? We saw Dreamcast die, didn't we? We saw Sega die, didn't we? Okay, then. Did the industry die off because Sega died off? Nope. You just saw Stadia come up. You don't think there could be another Stadia somewhere? You don't think another company can make something? Of course they can. Of course they can. Of course they can. But I'm going to tell you like this. Next generation will not be about the console sales. See, the Xbox will be an initial server. It's going to be an actual server where you play that just like you'll play your device, just like you play anything else, your tablet or anything else. It's just included into that now. That's all it is. Honor, respect. Hey, man, listen. Hey, you better respect your dad, bro. And be thankful you got one that can lecture you, man. Because you kids need it. Nah, nah, they ain't sleep. They here. But you know, it's like you got to understand something. That you got to get your minds ready to invest. You're going to have to do that. You're going to just have to do that. There isn't all this other stuff that you done been used to is gone. It's over with now. And it's hard for those that are part of that 3% to know that they weren't a part of what made this industry grow. That's just the reality of it. They were not a part of this industry. They were just hanging around trying to fit in. Next generation, they're not going to be nowhere to be found. It's all about the big money now, man. Where you going to be at? Next generation, where you going to be at? You got to, only you know that. Can't fake it. It's coming. You got about 2 more years? We already know what the next year is going to be about. All Xbox. It's going to be about all Xbox and Grand Theft Auto 6.
Man, what's up with this Grand Theft Auto game, bro?
I know, man. I hope they're able to
What's
get.
this, like a meta life type bullshit?
I don't know, but oh yeah. It's what was it? The first quadruple A game. What's up, Rain G4? The first quadruple A game.
These guys are just smoking way too much reefer than I am. Saying quadruple, triple.
Hey
A,
man,
double.
it's
I
a
don't understand that, man. Like, listen, a game's a game. It's either good or it's like shit.
yeah, that is true.
Wait until IGN scores it.
No, but you did say something that's fact, Spartan. Listen, we appreciate nice looking games, right? And we appreciate when people push technology forward, right? But if that game isn't good, that game just isn't good. Great
It's gonna have
facts. You're right.
crashes.
It's not gonna matter.
It's gonna have
Yep.
crashes just like that Cyberpunk. Just watch. They went way too big of a big world. That thing is gonna
Honor and
start
respect.
smoking PlayStations, bro.
Honor and respect. Go back and rewatch this show. You're gonna learn that you're wrong, horribly wrong. Go back and watch this show. This is the greatest era of gaming since gaming existed. The greatest. It's doing better than the 360 era. It's crazy. Nobody ever knew this. Nobody ever knew this. But there's more revenue out here in this world for games than it's ever been since gaming existed. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead 2 is just, that was ridiculous. That ridiculous. I need to finish that game too.
They did a great job with that game, man.
They did.
That's an open world I respect.
Look what Pat said. Alan Wake 2. I beat that. Alan Wake 2 was phenomenal. Was phenomenal. What Remedy did with that game, phenomenal. You know, and these are glimpses. These types of games are glimpses. You're right. The Red Dead 2, the Alan Wake 2, Grand Theft Auto 6. These games are just letting you know. And what's crazy is Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out this gen. That just shows you what these consoles are capable of doing. You know, it's crazy that we don't get enough of them. I get it. But just think about the capabilities that these consoles are going to be able to put out. That PlayStation 5 and that damn Xbox is going to put out some beautiful looking qualities for these video games. And it's going to be crazy. We just don't get enough of them. So yeah, man. Now we're at the segment of what games have you been playing? Spawn, what you been playing, man?
On that, I'm still on Halo and the Forza game, Motorsports.
Hey, you been You've been resting your mind. Too many servers, huh? You've been putting up too many servers.
Man, it's that Forza game is another. It's the circuits and the tracks, the updates that they put out. It's amazing. Everyone try it, man. Who hasn't played it yet?
Hey, Sean Soft. Sean Soft said, that's why I'm into retro gaming. But my favorite game, BOTW is my favorite game of all time. Okay. All right. You know, the thing about retro gaming, man, is that retro gaming is just fun. You don't have to, you just don't have to worry about so much. They made the game lasts about 45 to 45 minutes or to 2.5 hours to 5 hour max. A 5 hour retro game was just ridiculous, right? But max, that's it. 3 hour game, done, beat it, put it away, just for fun. I have a niche for shoot 'em ups. I love shoot 'em ups, man. Shoot 'em ups and beat 'em ups. I love those games in co-op fashion. They're just fun, right? We can get in there and just play. Like those are those wind down games. But I hear you, man. Halo, I knew you was gonna say Halo. What do you want, Master Chief Collection or what? Or Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo 5, which one?
I'm doing the saga, like the whole entire series in one go.
Damn.
They have
Honor
that
and respect
option where
says
there's the option you can play. There's different ways to play Master Chief, man. They give you a bunch of options. I chose the one from Halo 1 until Halo 4.
Honor and respect says retro gaming with community modes are epic. I beat 007 GoldenEye playing as Banjo with a cool mod. 20-year-old me, 20 years of me wouldn't believe it. I think that's what he meant. Yeah, mods are insane. Yo, Rez, what you been playing, man?
Well, I'm happy to say after 100 hours, I finally beat Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Great game, very open world, like semi-open world, like kind of Japanese soap opera drama kind of style with RPG mechanics and gameplay and all these little mini games. There's a lot to do in the game. It was a lot of fun. I've also been playing some multiplayer Helldivers 2 with some friends. And then just started Chronos, which is from the Bluebird team, same team who did the Silent Hill 2 remake. And it's very much a combination of Silent Hill 2 remake and Dead Space with a kind of sci-fi story. It's a really hard game. I probably equate it to what was that Crafton game, that other horror game that came out last year, Famo, like the one in space, Callisto Protocol. So it was very difficult, like Callisto, where you didn't get a lot of ammo. You could craft ammo, but resources are kind of scarce, so you don't get them that often. And you have to be very smart with your ammo and strategy and how you approach the enemies. So, and they keep coming at you too, so you have to hit them in the head for criticals to try to save your ammo. But still very difficult game, but it's a lot of fun, especially if you like those type of games. And it's a great horror game. I'm loving it so far. That's those are the three I've been mainly playing. I'm trying to stick to one game at a time. I know after Chronos, I'm going to go back to the Ninja Gaiden game and the Shinobi because I need to finish those two. And then there's Hollow Knight after that. So it's gonna be busy. I know, and like that's not even what I want to play. Everything, like there's still Metal Gear, Snake Eater. There's a Final Fantasy game coming out. We've got Final Fantasy VII remake coming out, 2 on Xbox. We got potentially Silent Hill 2 remake, and then Call of Duty. It's like, man, so much. And then Battlefield for Famo. I know Legal wants to jam on that. I'm gonna be gifting him that in a little bit later. But yeah, man, I don't
Wait a
know.
minute, what did you just say?
Well, hold on. Let me say. I was gonna say who's that made that comment? Honor, respect. I just don't see how you could say that, especially with how many great games have been coming out and the cadence of great games, and there's just so many choices and it's so many different genres. Like, how could you say that it's gone downhill? It's going uphill, actually. Gaming's never been more popular and had as much content as it has now, not since back in the old days. But no, I was saying, like, you know, when it gets closer to, you know, Battlefield 6 coming out, you know, I was gonna hook you up. So I know you wanted to play that.
Well, I'll be damned. Oh yes. Well, for me, it's Gears of War Reloaded. Trying to get up to my re-up. I just need to get my golden skins. Me and Rez already beat it on Insane. Naturally, if you beat it on Insane and you went over to multiplayer, you would have unlocked it. But this is the
Only way,
remaster version,
only
remake,
way
so
to
it
play
didn't
that
go
Got
game
to
the
is
the.
rare
insane,
General
man.
ROM achievement where you have to beat him without dying. Either of
Yeah, we
us.
got that. Yeah, we did. I'll even tell people how to do it. If you get 2 torque bows, you'll be able to do it quicker than you think. Because one a hit when they explode, it makes the krill come off. The next person hits them, boom. He won't even make it up to you. And we're talking about on Insane. Just FYI, if you want to try it, but you got to make sure you have 2 torque bows when you do it for each player. You're gonna have to do that. But yeah, for me, it's Gears of War Reloaded. I put over 6 hours of gameplay today. I don't know. I just got into my feel again. Almost had a 90 kill game, and then I had another. I think I had 280 something kill games and a 70 and 260s, something like that. It was just insane today. I mean, it was just there was some great players on today. I got caught with some newbies. I had to teach them the ropes, show them what to do, make some calls, be a leader, you know, and make them follow me. But overall, man, they did good. Shout out to the PlayStation community that got up on it. Yeah, a lot of them got their ass whooped, but they playing. Look, I will never talk about anybody on one of my favorite game series of all time coming up on there to try to learn Gears of War. At least they got some honor about themselves. They got their asses whooped, but there's some decent ones. There's some decent PlayStation fans on Gears of War. I didn't listen. I don't. They might have been multi-console owners. There's just no way they're that damn good. You know, coming from place, they don't know how to play that shit. They must have been. They must be multi-console owners and they love PlayStation more, and they're playing on their PlayStation, which is no issue. But shout outs to them. They still got their ass whooped today, but for the most part, they pulled their own. There was because you just know when somebody knows how to play. They knew the boards. You just don't know the boards, and you never play Gears of War like that. You just know that. But that's how you do it. Honor respect said I used the torque on Ramen that took 0 damage and killed him in 45 seconds. The Brumont was harder. Yeah, facts. For those who've never beat it, the Brumont is actually the hardest boss on the game. He's harder than Rom. He's actually harder than Rom. Exactly. Facts. I think me and Rez died on him once though, but we kind of figured it out. We almost died twice on him, but we got him. If you shoot his mechanical machine guns, they don't take long to blow up. You just got to focus on it and shoot together, and it'll get them done. It'll get them
One
done.
of us is a decoy and the other one shoots it. Yep.
That's how you do it. You got to make one run, make him chase one, while the other one focuses on shooting him. That's how you get that one done. But he is the hardest one. He is the hardest one. I will admit to that too. But yeah, guys, we're getting close to the end. We didn't want to listen. We didn't want to take up too much of your time. We wanted to come out here and let y'all know where we're headed. We're going to be around here for a while, y'all. We're not going anywhere. This is what we enjoy to do. We love to come out here and talk this stuff with you guys. We want to give y'all the truth. We want to educate. We want to power. Just understand what's going on, y'all. This is another era. And listen, to you guys that are this generation of gamers, now you are about to witness what it feels like moving into another era. This is nothing new to us. We done went through three of them. But it's the ones who learn how to adjust, accept, there it is. That's the word, accept what's going on. Some of the things that you had fun doing the most, you may not be able to carry on that anymore. You're going to have to accept it. You're going to have to adjust. Listen, I'm a console warrior. I get it. I love console warring. I did. I truly did. I did. And then console sale wars came in. I ain't really too much care about that, but I still got in it. I still dove in it. And then I had to accept that the platform that I choose to be a warrior about lost in that department. I accepted it. That didn't make legal stop buying an Xbox. It didn't. It was a great era, man. It was a great era. It just, as far as the industry goes, we know that the era was great. We know that PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era was one of the greatest eras I've ever been a part of. I love that era. That was a beautiful era. But you gotta let things go. You gotta understand how to move on. And for a lot of people, that was their own. See, for a lot of people, y'all, the console sales were their only talking point because they don't know how to really talk about video games. I look at you guys in the chat pack, and you guys can talk about video games. We look at y'all's comments. You see what I'm saying? We see what you talk about. We see what you bring up. You guys can literally talk about video games. But there's a lot of people out here that they can't talk like y'all talk. If it ain't about the console sales or something like that, they can't talk about nothing else. They're the ones that are having a hard time. Understand that this is about service and content now. Understand that companies are making adjustments. They gotta change the way they do their vision. They gotta change the way the outlook of what they're gonna do for their products. All this stuff is changing. So you either with gaming or you're not. You only have two options. Either you're gonna stop video gaming or you're not. It's just as simple as that. It's just what it is. All these people talking about they own everything. They don't own everything. They don't own everything. I hardly even know anybody that owns everything. It just doesn't make any sense. Most gamers get what they like. Most gamers get what they like. They play what they like. The average gamer in the United States owns one console. Look it up. It's still like 53%. Still. It's crazy. Don't believe everything you hear just because you're listening to a zealot, because they just want their preferred platform to look a certain way. Do your own research. Be a student of the game. Don't always just be a listener. Be a doer as well. Don't just be a listener, because anybody can tell you anything. You can't say I'm telling you anything, because when I tell you, I can do my research. I show you where I'm getting it from. I don't just say stuff to y'all. I don't want it to be like that. I want y'all to be able to hear it coming straight from me. Matter of fact, damn, let me put the article up in here. Let me put that up in here. That way y'all can read for yourselves. Give me 1 second. I forgot to do that, so my bad. Here we go. We're going to put it up in here. right now. Now you're going to see where I got this from. Oh, damn, it didn't go through. Hold on, let me do this. Let me see this. There I go. Okay, I put it in there. Don't worry about that one. I'm just going to put it in there anyway, but I put it in there. Y'all can hear me, right? Y'all can still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I put it in there. I was backing out to get it in there. So now everybody's got it. There it is right there. That's where I got my information from. It's a good read. I want everybody to read it, study it, learn from it. There's a lot of truths in there. And just continue to grow, just like the industry, man. We got to keep moving. There's going to be a lot of people that don't come this generation, but the ones that stay are going to be the ones that are going to be responsible for it to continue on going. This thing won't stop until everybody stops messing with gaming, but we all know gaming is going to stick around. It's like I said, it may leave hardware, it may stop looking like hardware, but it's gonna go into like an app form. It may go somewhere, but wherever it goes, you'll be able to continue the game. That's just the way it goes, man. So I just want to say thank y'all for coming out. Yo, Rez, yo, Spartan, y'all got any last words to say to the audience?
Thank you all for
No,
coming
thanks
out.
for coming out, guys. It's been
Keep
fun.
gaming. Enjoy your time.
Hey, listen, I go by the name of the new legal. This has been Di-RRec Gaming. Thank y'all for coming out to the X League podcast. Remember to always keep it gaming. I don't want to see none of y'all tucking y'all chains over Xbox, man. Don't let nobody make you feel less of a gamer because you love Xbox, man. Keep y'all chain out and bar none. Remember, always keep it gaming. This is about keeping it gaming only because right here, we bring streets to the gaming and gaming backs to the streets. In the meantime, always go after that one up, man. Get your extra man. Everybody deserves a second chance in life. Hey, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Stay blessed. And we're going to catch you on the other one. We're headed to the Tokyo show next week. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.